One of these days I will remember to turn my mic on before I try to film a clip. Hey guys, my name is Haley, and today we're going to be filming goofy, silly videos that I thought of a couple weeks ago to help round out the month of October, and that is I'm going to be reading Halloween smut, like Halloween themed smut on KU. Mostly like very, very, very short novellas because I'm running out of time to read things, and I thought it would be a fun thing to pad out the rest of the month of my reading because I've had quite a good reading month, so I'm looking forward actually to filming my wrap up. But I found this post by someone on Bookstagram. I will leave it linked up here. I will put her account because I can't remember it off the top of my head. And I picked out 7 of the books on their post to read. Most of them are between the pages of about 40 to 80 pages. I think one of them's like less than 150, somewhere in there, and the shortest one is like 30 pages. So I'm going to probably try to read them in order of shortest to longest, but I can't make any promises that that's going to happen. And yeah, I'm just going to be reading silly, goofy Halloween smut. And the first one that I'm going to start with, I'll probably just mention them as I go along, is Bad to the Bone by Salem Sinclair. And the tagline I have for this is, what does the sound of bumping bones actually sound like? So I think this is skeleton smut. And that should give you an idea of the theme for this video. But I'm going to sit here, probably update very soon, because this one's very short. I think it's like 30 some pages. And I'll let you know if they're worth the silly, goofy time for reading on actual Halloween. I'm trying to get this up a little bit early so people have the option of things to look up. Oh, I don't know if I said this. They're also all on KU. I did not pay for any of these. I would not pay for most of these. This is just a fun, silly little thing to do. But if you have KU, this is a video for you. But yeah, I'm going to jump right on into it. And let's see if any of these are a good time. I literally already want to update because this is set on Samhain, which I believe is the pagan version of Halloween, if I'm not mistaken. And if I am, please tell me in the comments down below. But this is literally about this girl's like making out with this creature that is apparently, I think he's a lich, and he is mainly a skeleton, but his magic allows him to like create body parts essentially, like skin and stuff, when he wants to. So like when he wants to make out with someone. And he apparently died more than a century ago, murdered by a serial killing wizard. Which sounds fun. And his spirit refused to move on. And he's just decided to reanimate himself. And they're like literally making out with a bunch of other magical creatures around them, trying to like hide in the corner. That's all that's happened so far in the first like 3 pages. I can't with this. He literally like only comes back as his like necromantic self, or whatever we're calling it, for the 3-day festival of Samhain. And his only purpose is to give this girl orgasms. That's where we're at right now. So apparently part of their agreement is that she cannot orgasm at any other time of the year, no matter how hard she tries, even with pleasuring herself. So that's a thing that's discussed in here. But also there's this part that I had to comment on because it made me think of this TikToker that I really like. And that is the sentences: a pounding of drums could be heard in the distance, deep and thrumming with energy as she felt down to her core. There was a power behind that beat, something fierce and wild. It made her feel out of control, and she loved it. And that reminds me that there are Christian sects who think that drums are demonic. And this book is just proving their point. I don't know what else to say. And now, not only are we having all of the orgasms with the lich, but also the lich likes to share. So we have possibly a poly. I don't know if that's what you would call the situation, but she has a friend who's an orc who has decided that he wants to be more than friends. So we have a friends to lovers with an orc monster creature as well in this. And the orc has a CNC kink. So that's a thing. She is being chased through the woods. and also her lich or mage or whatever we're calling him gets to watch. So if you're into any of those things when it comes to romance, this is a fun one. I will also say that I actually really like the writing of this, and I think this is a series of different monster romances. So I might in my own time read the other ones, but I wanted to read the more like Halloween-esque one for this video specifically. And we finished our 35-page first book. This also, I will just preface this by I don't even know if I put it up here earlier. I'm gonna put the picture up now that I finished it and to talk about it a little bit. So this had a lot of things in it. It has a lot of smut, which is to be expected with this type of video. It also has, if you're interested in the kinks, it has a lot of sharing. It has voyeurism. It has orgasm denial. It has, what was the other big one? There was another big one in there. A lot of degradation. There was a lot of that in there. But I also want to say, even though this was entirely smut, I could tell that the writing is really good. So I'm actually kind of interested in this author's other works. Maybe even outside of this novella series. Maybe I'll look into it because I thought the writing, as far as smut goes, as someone who's read quite a bit of smut, the writing actually was pretty good, especially for how much they got done, and it didn't feel very rushed in a 30-some page novella. But that was our first read of Bad to the Bone of Spooky Sexy Time with Skeletons. I will come to you soon with the second book. Okay, so now we're on to book number 2, which is going to be Jack by Layla Faye. I feel like I've heard of this author before. I have no idea why. I think it might just be because I watch a lot of booktubers who read a lot of smut, and she's a well-known smut author. I don't think I've read anything of hers, but this one is a monster man with a pumpkin head, and it's 48 pages. So we're gonna jump right on into that one. I also wanted to show you guys my mic is back here. I wanted to show you guys my new Kindle case situation here. I just redid it a week or so ago, and I'm kind of obsessed with the spooky vibes of it. So I thought I would show it off. Quick update on the actual plot of this one. This is apparently about a tarot card reader who is tired of being single, and she's like, I don't even want love. I just want to get laid. That would be nice too. After she's just done a bunch of tarot readings for people who are apparently going to have super long happy relationships, and she's fed up with all of this and starts playing with a new tarot deck that she got. And there's this naked pumpkin man on this new tarot deck that she got that's all these naked artwork of certain creatures, and she keeps getting this pull when she does a spread for herself, she keeps pulling the same 3 cards, and she's like, well, that's weird. And then a book falls off her shelf and goes, oh, that's weird. And then she tries a summoning spell from the book of who? You guessed it, the pumpkin man, the pumpkin-headed monster man. It's exactly what's on the back of the book. He tasted like pumpkin spice syrup, only with a sharper tang, more ginger, less sweetness. Its texture was creamy, and it slid down her throat like melted chocolate. You taste like Halloween, she said. What am I doing with my life? Alrighty then. We read that one. It had quite a bit of anal, had a breeding kink, had nodding. So if you're into any of those things, that was Jack the Halloween Monster Erotica by Layla Faye. It was an experience. Those are not personal things that I am into, so I'm giving that one a 3-star, maybe even a 2-star, but it did its job. I also will say that this is apparently a part of a novella series, and there's Jack 2, Grim, Satan. I might read Satan just for fun because that sounds hilarious. Orc, Crow. I think Crow is later on this list. Full Sack, Mr. Jingle, Bunny, and Thick Beef. So that gives you the vibes of this series, but it was fun. I liked the first one more, but we're gonna get into a third one. But before we do that, I looked up the author of that first one I read by Salem Sinclair, and she apparently has a full length like novel that is a wide shoes called Garden of Witches, and I'm literally about to read that as soon as I finish all of my October TBR stuff and these Halloween novellas, because that sounds so fun. It's about witches and an academy, and it's a wide shoes. So I'm going to be reading that very, very soon. You can bet your ass. And next up we have, I need to go make a coffee. That's what we have. Next up we have, I also might move to a different location, so not every single one of my clips is in this spot. We have Halloween Mating by Kyra Keys, which the description I wrote down is a guy dressed as an alien on Halloween turns out to be a real alien. And it's 76 pages. It's also called Mating, so don't think this is going to be in my kink realm, but we'll read it for the fun. Remember me being like, oh, I'm going to move somewhere else so we have a different background. And all I did was move the camera slightly because I haven't been able to move yet, but I think I'm going to go outside and read here in a little bit. But I'm going to have to put a hoodie on to do that because it's cold out there. But I just finished, oh God, what was that one called? Halloween Mating by Kyra Keys. And it was literally one night stand turns into, oh shit, this is my mate with, she thinks it's a man dressed as an alien at a Halloween party. And it turns out to be a real alien. And they both watch this reality show called like Aliens. It's basically The Bachelor, but with aliens. And they like bond over that. They have sex. He realizes that this is his mate, and the girl's like, this mating thing is not real. And he also, his best friend has bonded to her best friend, and she has to go save him because he tries, her new mate's best friend tries to kidnap her friend because they also bonded, and it was a whole little scene. But I thought this was actually really cute for how goofy and like tropey it is. Like there's a whole lot of BDSM talk in there. They definitely partake in some of that. He gives her a safe word and everything. And there's a little happily ever after at the end, of course, as there always is. And yeah, I actually thought the aliens were really interesting because one of the things that he kept talking about, it was supposed to be his last night on Earth, was Halloween, and he was supposed to go back to his home planet. And they apparently had to take a lot of training on humans in the way that humans like, basically so they don't go there and like assault anyone, so they're educated on human customs and such, which I thought was really interesting. So I might actually read something else in this little alien novella series. I would actually be interested, especially in the one of her friend and his friend and their whole bond and how that goes, because that feels very enemies to lovers. But I thought this one was fun. It was a good time. So we're about halfway through. I have 4 more that I'm planning to get to. I'm probably going to try to do a change of scenery and go outside and read. It is cold, so I don't know that I will stay out there the whole time. Probably enough to take some clips of me reacting. But the next one I have is the one that started the idea for this, and that is Halloween by Holly Wilde. Because, of course, what is this about? And the little synopsis that was for this one is a man made of candy who uses a lollipop vibrator. It sounds like an interesting time. I also think I'm going to pass out candy to trick or treaters if we get any. We don't get a lot in our neighborhood. There's not really a bunch of kids around here, but I'm going to probably sit out and hide my Kindle library while trying to pass out candy. So I might dress up later. That could be a fun thing to add to this vlog. Just like do a cute little last minute Halloween costume. We'll see. I have impromptu decided to commit to the bit and dress up and go sit outside. I walked out like this. My boyfriend was like, what did you do? And I was like, I impromptu decided that this was going to happen. So I'm going to sit back here. I'm going to keep reading my books. I am I am currently on Crow by Layla Faye. This is the same author as one of the ones I read earlier. And we're just going to keep on going with this. And I'm going to periodically check on the trick-or-treater candy thing that I took a video of. The lighting may be my friend, it might not be, I can't tell. But I forgot to wrap up my other book that I just finished. I just finished the Halloween one, which I'm now outside, so I'm trying to talk quietly with this because there's kids trick-or-treating. It was basically a lot of smut. It was split into two parts, which was interesting. One was about the Halloween monsters, which, in case you were curious, there were 3 of them. And there was a lot of sharing and stuff going on there. And then the second part was about I think his name was Man Candy. I want to say Candyman, but it's literally the opposite of that. And he's like an urban legend in their town, and he couldn't figure out why he had not been summoned in years, and she doesn't know why. It was like, please don't summon him, because she had a great time with them. And it's like her and her best friend with their different dimensional monster lovers. So that one was okay. It was fine. I gave it 3.5 stars. It was fun. It was a unique concept for the situation. But now I'm on Crow, which is something. It's literally about this like crow monster. I know nothing else. I know it's by Layla Faye, which is the person who wrote the second book that I read. Do I remember which one that? Oh, I think it's the Pumpkinhead one, the one I didn't like very much. So I don't have high expectations, but this one's only like 80 pages, so I'm gonna sit out here and read it. Is this a fun angle? I can't tell. You can see my low stakes Halloween costume that I decided to do approximately 15 minutes ago. Can't even see my eyes, but it's blocking the sun, so it works really well actually, because it's cold out here and this is very warm, and that was the goal. This is about a man who monster man, his name is Crow, who has fantasies about helping and taking care of this girl. I can't tell if he stalks her. He was a creature made of darkness, fear, and pain. Yikes. It sounds like he's stalking her, I'm not gonna lie. This one feels like I started in the middle of a book. I really don't know what's going on. It has shifters. Double peens. Okay, are we talking about the shifter or the crow? Oh my god, somebody's name is Draco. Here come the fan fiction people. Oh, okay, this is the shifter, not the crow. The crow's name is not Draco. Are you a bee or a fly? Get off of me. No, thank you. Oh, was he transformed into a crow? Oh, this is about Baba Yaga. I did not get that at first. He was made by Baba Yaga. Oh, sorry, Baba Yaga saved him. She was not the one that turned him. Oh, I hear children. Maybe I should pay attention to the candy. Hold on. Hello, I'm freezing, and I have just finished Crow. This is, again, for the people who like the faded. I don't think there's technically faded mates in this one, but if you once again, like the last one, the breeding kink, maybe this one is for you. It was not for me. I don't think Layla Faye is for me, because it's the second one of her books that I read, and they both had that in. I'm just as someone who works with kids but doesn't actually want kids of their own, it is not my cup of tea. So more power to you if that's your thing, but I am not a fan. And other than that, the book was fine. It was like 85 pages. I read it in half an hour, maybe 45 minutes. I've been sitting out here for a while, and I was curious if my mic would even work because it's freezing out here. But yeah, it was okay. I think I have 2 more to read. There's people zooming down the street. I can never tell what this mic picks up. I know what my phone picks up, but the mic is very different and muffles a lot of other noises. So you might not even be able to hear the wind out here the way that I can. But I have, what is the next one called? Jack's Head, which has a picture of a pumpkin head. I don't remember what this one is about. I'm not going to lie. I'm going to have to look at my notes before I even tell you, but I have that one up next. And then I have the longest one, which is like 130 pages left. I'm thinking as long as I keep reading at the pace that I am, I will be able to finish this tonight, but I make no promises. I also should probably go check on the candy, but I haven't heard any kids in a minute. Again, we don't get a lot of trick-or-treaters around here because it's a very like residential neighborhood, and I haven't seen any other house lights on. That's why the kid that did come up here a little bit ago literally screamed candy from like down the road, and I heard him come get it. So nobody has taken the blind dates with a book yet, and I'm upset. And if they're still here at the end of the night, I might go drop them off at Little Free Libraries. So that's the update. Welcome to Spooky Stories with Haley. I'm just kidding. I'm not doing that. I'm reading Smut is what's actually happening, but the lighting cracks me up. I could probably put it on orange lighting, but I want you to actually be able to see me. So I am about halfway through Jack's Head by Siggy Shade. This is Headless Horseman Smut, and the whole premise is she has lost her boyfriend and her job and might have the police after her because her boyfriend was a piece of shit and tried to get her to sleep with him and his like uncles or something, and she was like, I'm not down for that, and he was like, I thought you would be, in a like dickish way. And so she leaves and runs into the Headless Horseman on Halloween night, and the whole thing is if she can spend the entire night with the Headless Horseman and he can do whatever he wants to her sexually, then he's going to give her money. I also think this is set somewhere in the UK, and she wins money and her freedom and stuff and won't have to worry about anything as long as she can last the night with the Headless Horseman. So I'm going to finish that. And then I'll give you an update, and then I have one more book to read this evening. So hope you're enjoying spooky smut time with Haley. Every time I see this in the phone camera, I feel like I should be on an episode of like Scary Stories to Tell in the Dark. But I just finished Jack's Head, which was a like love at first sight Headless Horseman. And it was fine. It was better than the other Layla Faye ones, I will say that. There is a lot of sexual like bondage type things going on in here, I will say that. A lot of specific sexual fantasies, like at one point he wants her she has like a bridle in her mouth like a horse. So if you're not into that, maybe skip this one. But I thought the actual storyline outside of all of the smut was kind of interesting. It was about this like 18th century man who was like cursed because he was hanged for being a thief. And then after his death, he was cursed by some guy and like basically framed to be the Headless Horseman and like got sent to hell. And like every night on Halloween, he gets released from hell, and that's why the Headless Horseman comes out on Halloween. And it was an interesting like actual plot to all of this. I wish we had gotten more of the plot, but I'll give this one a solid 3 stars. I thought it was fun. It was about, I don't even know how many pages it was. What was it? Let's look. It was 106 pages. And I thought that one was fun because it actually was set on Halloween. So if you're looking for a book that is set on Halloween for Halloween Day, that this will be up before. There you go. But I have one more left, and that is Carving for Kara by Melissa McSherry. And my only note is uses a corn cob as a dildo in the cornfield. Cornfield. That's all I know. That's it. This cover I feel like I've also seen here. I'll like put it up on the screen. It's dark. You can't see this. um I feel like I saw this cover suggested a couple years ago when I read The Dare by Harley LaRue. I feel like it might have come out around the same time, or at least it was being suggested by people who had also read it either last year or the year before, maybe even a couple years ago, but I definitely recognize this cover. So I have no idea what the plot is outside of corn, and I assume something to do with a pumpkin, as is the theme of most of these. But yeah, I'm going to sit here and read that last book, and then we're hopefully going to wrap up the vlog. And we have finished all of the Halloween smut. I'm talking quietly because my partner is sleeping, but I want to finish the vlog. So I just finished Carving for Kara, which I didn't realize was co-written, so I apologize. Both of the authors' names are on this, but this is for people if you like Haunting Adeline and any other book of dark romance with like a stalker premise. This is for you. And also, if you read The Dare by Harley LaRue, you would probably also really like this one. But yeah, that is my wrap up. I would say my favorite of the 7 books that I read was probably Bad to the Bone, which is weird because it was the shortest one, but I absolutely will read other things by Salem Sinclair because I really, really enjoyed it. And my second favorite, I really didn't like the Layla Faye ones. And I feel bad. I think my second favorite would be the Halloween Meeting, which is the alien one. Probably just because I like me a good sci-fi. But I hope you all enjoyed this. Let me know what you are dressing up as or did dress up as for Halloween in the comments down below. And leave me, if you don't have anything else to comment, leave me a jack-o'-lantern emoji because there were so many pumpkin head things in this monster romance Halloween smut vlog. But thank you all for watching, and I will see all of you guys next time.